I actually have a feeling they'll be on the red side throughout this entire series. We know the D+, they really like pick and blue, and so they will probably stay there regardless of whether they get first pick or not.
I do see the Pantheon and Jarvan bans targeted towards Lucid right away here.
More.
The first pick side of things for DRX, the Varus will go first, and I think Rumble will follow.
Yeah, this is a really interesting one because that means that Jace or Malphite are likely to get through unless we're going to give up a Rumble ban or something like that.
Well, I think right now, for me, that Jace is no longer really viable in the jungle. He's not a strong pick like he was once before, and the Malphite's a little bit more niche, so the Nocturne ban is quite interesting here. It might be looking more towards the Orianna Azir type of trade as the Rumble gets banned here now by DRX. And now that you've banned the Nocturne, obviously the first pick Azir stocks go up quite substantially. And so let's see what D+ want to do, because if they want to trade those, DRX obviously has first priority on the pick. So they will pick the Azir. So what's this ban going to be? You have to wonder now. Maybe a Yunara ban if they don't want to play it themselves. And that's what they'll do.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be. I actually have a
So, hallo.
the Azir, and I think that
DK DRX waren die beiden E-Mails richtig. Hallo Evil Curry. Hallo Dicke. Morgen Vorkant. Alles. Rusel Apache. Guten Morgen. Es war ein ehemaliger Kollege, was ernsthaft bei GNTM mit wirklich.
Or does Showmaker go for something that's a little bit more of a counter to the Orianna in lane? We know Ori does decently into the pigeon.
That's a decent question. I'm actually surprised with no Nocturne here that they picked the.
Und dazu war heute ein Artikel in der Zeitung. Was? Aber voll viele waren irgendwie mit. Ich hab gesehen, dass irgendjemand mit Lost Tones Merch bei Germany's Next Top Model war. Anscheinend. Krank.
This is not a surprise. This is a strong flex pick between Lucid and Chiu. And honestly, if they have something else prepared for Showmaker, they could even lock right now. This is the play Lulu.
Ja, also wir vermuten einfach mal. Also, okay, letztes Mal diese Series, der Stomp des Jahrhunderts. Okay, also mal schauen.
And Andil has been target banned with this Bard so many times. They'll just take it away from him.
Yeah, I actually really like this. I do like Lulu and Besser. It's kind of my favorite thing, but this is taking such a strong weapon away from DRX because Andal has been so incredibly good. And now Korea can demonstrate whether he has got some of that Bard energy in him in this best of 5. Now to round out the first round of picks here for DRX, could just be the top side of the map that they do lock in, as jungle is theoretically open, but instead looking towards the bottom side as Andal, he really likes throwing anchors. You mentioned it already, Wolf. He will never give up an opportunity to be Nautilus
and it's crazy
to throw a hook.
How much success he's had just playing Nautilus into range supports in the bottom lane, because he does make those all-ins work, and Gio has really leveled up his 2v2.
Richtig viel Success auf jeden Fall gegen die Kerne letztes Series. Aber Nautilus ist die common Antwort gegen Range Supports, finde ich fein auch. To be honest, finde ich fein. Kann man arbeiten. Not smash good. Good. He's good.
Flex pick of the Ambassador, I kind of like that as well. But I was expecting an 80 carry pick to come on through.
It's now really tricky if you are DRX to try to ban here what D+ have, because you are probably focused on 80 carry in this scenario. But there's just so many viable picks here, and one that work well with Bard. So to try to, you know, ban Ezreal, which, yeah, okay, you can do that, but there's still a lot viable here, right? Like, and you're not even playing a dive comp necessarily. So
schau, die könnten auch noch Kaiser gehen. Kaiser war jetzt nicht das geilste 2v2, aber könnten noch Kaiser gehen.
I think D+ have so many more cards hidden that it becomes a little bit more challenging, whereas you can just ban top prio picks here like the Renekton pretty easily if you're D+ Gia.
I do like the Ezreal ban just because of D+'s play.
Renekton ban, damit sie noch Bing potenziell gepreppt haben. Aber ist der Toplane, ergibt Sinn. Okay, es schreit so ein bisschen nach einem besser Top. Right, mit Doppelbuns. Morgen K.O., danke für Raid. Hallo Gucci.
And also, Sivir Azir is just kind of ridiculous wave clear and things like that. It's very hard to push in.
Ja, wenn AD Carry picken und dann ein besser Flex halt für Last Pick, ist gut.
Through a bit of a slog in that last matchup.
Now you can play almost anything here if you are D+. So you could go even Kai'Sa, and because you have the Bard, you can get through the laning phase. They'll go for the Jhin.
Jhin,
This makes me feel like the Mbessa is probably going top lane because you're going to want those additional stats to have that hard engagement.
Gibt's einen besseren besser als Sivu? Mich.
If you're in the jungle, you won't be able to have as many items as quickly. You won't have to farm, and the levels are going to feel really nice. And I think DRX are happy to play the Xinjiao here. Blind, it's a great front line for them. Great ball carrier, best available. Now this is a little tricky.
That's a bit of fun.
So, was ist jetzt die andere? Jetzt kommt der Toplane Kassadin.
I think that they think this Mbessa is going top, but this gives D+ now the opportunity to switch it up, and they will.
Yeah, I think.
Ja, ich glaube, ja, Jace könnte das easy Toplane gehen.
A lot of those nerfs that we did see were based on jungle Jace, and so him towards the top side, which we have already seen, is likely to be the answer here.
It's
so
really,
a bit of double ranged.
It's really risky to play Jace top, but I think into this draft it can work incredibly well because you already have
Cooler Switch-Up, honestly. Sehr cooler Switch-Up im Draft, ja. Finde ich nice.
And if you think you can play this matchup confidently enough, if you can walk that tightrope, don't
Finde ich ein sehr cooler Switch-Up im Draft.
keep an eye on where Willer is at all times because he wants
Also, ich weiß nicht, wie das Matchup ist, seit Gunblade wieder da ist.
needs to be focused there. You can generate a significant lead, get your
Jace Jungle ist Jace Jungle.
faster.
Ist ein besser Jungle.
Mbessa is going to be your primary form of hard engage here to set up the Jhin. I think DRX read this well with the Kennen pick, but the problem is when you go for first pick, these things can always just flip. And that was why that Kennen pick was so risky, was even though we assumed that with this Jhin pick, the Mbessa was likely going top, they can swap that at the end and say, well, we have a strong top lane now instead.
That's actually very clever.
Ja, ich weiß, also, das Matchup war auf jeden Fall super hart, wenn ich für den Jace mal. Also so, richtig hard Winning Hand ist es. Super hard Winning für den Jace. Aber ich weiß nicht, ich weiß nicht, ob Gunblade das etwas leichter gemacht hat. Man geht dann.
There's just, it's a juggernaut. We're just going to walk at you and press R buttons composition coming out of DRX. And I don't think the team fighting power in a front-to-back sense is going to be there from D+, like what DRX has. And so if they can play the game on their terms, this could be DRX doing it again and wiping out...
So. Also Nautilus ist die beste, also wahrscheinlich von den Milis die beste Antwort into diese Range Supports. Mal sehen, ob es mal schauen, ob sie es umgesetzt bekommen. Die Case Favorit, ja, also die hatten schon mal, wir hatten in den Planes dieses Matchup schon und es waren die zwei härtesten Storms, die ich dieses Jahr gesehen habe. Wir flashen rein. Okay. Also, ja, weil es ist halt das Problem, also jetzt wird es halt outtrade, ja genau, jetzt ist schon wieder nicht geil. Welche Rune Toplane? Ich glaube, du gehst entweder Conqueror oder Grasp auf Sahin. Und du gehst Travels first. Ja, aber dann ist so fucked schon wieder. Er muss jetzt den nächsten Hook, muss er wahrscheinlich flashen, wenn er kommen würde, aber... Ja. I mean, I respect it, aber es ist halt fried, weil jetzt hat Korea auch gleich auf Level 2 W. Dann kann er die hochsustainen.
It's not a horrible scenario for them, but it's definitely not a favorable one either. And so as a result, we are going to see tons of lane control here.
Was? Oh mein Gott, es ist actually First Blood. Wow. Well played, 2v2 dived. Smash ist auch tot, oder? Auch mit Flash. Okay. I mean, respect. Wave bounce auch back. Also, die Wave bounce back, der Cocky ist so doomed. Auch wenn es ein 1-for-1 war, weil der Andal hat auch noch den Kill bekommen, ist es so bad. Es ist so bad.
Bit of a fiery start in the bottom lane.
I don't know whether it's good. Is it good, Wolf? Like,
es ist so bad für den Cocky.
This is a win streak, although it's a bit of a niche pick. I mean, look at how things eventuate. Considering the scenario before this for Jew, I think it's actually slightly better for DRX than it was if we didn't trade. Because now they're in a position where they can actually get access back to that wave. The CS is going to kind of even out a little bit here. And Career had flash advantage. He used it to trade kills. And now we've kind of reset here.
And both of the kills went to supports as well. So it's not like Smash gets the kill, but then the follow-up is Andil or something like that. It's evenly traded between the two that didn't necessarily want the most of that money.
If Smash like was able to get another wave or something before backing, or grab a plate after the play instead of
Morgen Rob und hallo Jamo.
having to flash, then it would have felt much better. But he also had to flash there because of Andil. So yeah, I think it's a slight net negative.
Ja, Korki muss nochmal basen oder ich traine wahrscheinlich, oder?
That being said, they do still have a slight gold advantage after that wave is mopped up. You can see it does go down in favor of them.
Wait, der ist sogar ein EXP ahead, weil er die komplette Wave solo gepusht hat?
Surplus.
Interesting. Er ist nicht mal so fucked. Okay. Falsch eingeschätzt von mir. Ich dachte, er ist komplett fucked. War ja logen.
Smash really wanted to walk a little bit faster. So he will have those shoots collected.
Top lane, Willer has a potential angle here.
Yeah, but
Guter Hook, Smasher, kein Flash. Smash ist tot. Sexy. Schön Hook. War ein bisschen Wunder bei der LEC. Ich habe einen Tech-Check, glaube ich, um 3.
You reset things on the flashless Jin. Like I said, Andil, he takes every hook he can, but he does not miss. And if you're going to stand like that,
Also ich werde zum Tech-Check wahrscheinlich da sein, weil davor ist noch ein anderes Event, wo ich hin muss.
Yeah, and this is what I was kind of thinking, right? Because when you're the ones that have the range advantage, when you're playing in the neutral and you're just going
Und auf einmal ist der Jin fucked.
general,
Das ist geil.
you don't need to die.
Yeah, you just need to whittle them down.
Keep them away from the wave.
You know, when you're in a favorable position, you know, you don't need to.
Ah, das ist auch ein gnadenloser One-Shot, ne? Du hast keine Sums. Korki mit W drauf.
Exactly. Andil
Not much to do.
in level 1 with his ignite pick because the pressure was on them, right? Like they're the ones who have to make a call like that in this lane. And as it turns out, ends up being a big backfire. Once again, Gio is gifted a lead in the early game by his support Andil.
And this is actually kind of massive, right? Because we know Corki just gets so good on 2 items.
Das heißt, Botcap ist auch fucking doomed, oder nicht?
After things were looking dire,
To be honest.
huge deal. As now DRX moved to about a 300 gold lead. It's not really much of anything at all, but all of the action has been in this bottom side. And we also know that Jin just doesn't.
Botcap ist fucked, damit Level 6 wird Sau, damit erster Drake weg.
Game goes on.
Yeah.
And so
Looking rough.
they have fallen behind with this.
Sogar zuerst der Drake.
Just
Okay.
kind of compounds that negative feeling.
Well, it's a free dragon that comes as a result of it as well.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Luciu's early tempo teleport.
Lucid läuft hin.
Longsword, he had to back a second time.
Ich glaube, okay, der Drake gibt nicht Level 6, meine ich.
He's going to use it. Yeah, that is going to be.
Oh, da ist Top-Laner Limit noch.
Here from Rich, but he's still got 200 health.
Was macht Lucid?
Back in.
Zeig Drake, zeig Drake, zeig Drake.
Insane, as he
Drake weg. Lucid aber nicht Level 6, Willer nicht Level 6 von Drake, wie erwartet.
That was crazy.
Yeah, the fact that he flashed.
Das spawnt jetzt die Crap, aber du hast Upgrade Smite gegen Non-Upgrade Smite.
Smash still
Also auch das ist guck. Und dann hittet Willer halt Level 6, ne?
here's Lucid
Und er geht rein mit der Combo. Guter Flash von Lucid.
there to avoid the shock.
Flash Engage von Endel. Oh, das war ein beautiful Flash von Career.
Flashes, but he's still
Und es gewinnt den Fight einfach, oder nicht?
another one.
Lucid stirbt, aber trotzdem Winning Fight. GW rein.
Be shut down
Wow.
by Smash. Showmaker still on full health after he eats some of that honey fruit.
Beautiful Fight von Career.
Guess what, Wolf? They found a teamfight win.
Schön.
Found a scuttle crab area.
Yeah.
Seit der Stunde auf den Telekom-Techniker warten. Der kommt bestimmt gleich.
Dragon
Morgen
goes
mit.
over to DRX, but the fight
Okay.
promptly a
Gut geflashte Combo halt von Lucid mit der Orianna Shockwave.
insane. Gets away
Und jetzt hier geiler Flash von Career.
part of this early scratch
Wow.
power here for the side of
Beautiful.
DRX. Look at how much
Und dann GOW halt rein und opfert sich
on the
quasi.
Valkyrie. It actually ends up doing
Schön.
a lot of burn damage, but he does no flash to get over the wall.
Mechanisch richtig, richtig gut gespielt.
Going down as
Auch
well.
da zu contesten, obwohl du den Drake verlierst und damit Upgrade Smite beim Gegner Jungle hast.
Play.
Schau mal,
And
Blade.
that reaction really turned the fight around. And unfortunately for you, Cal just wasn't able to do as much as he would have liked there. Does pick up a kill in the end.
Yep. I mean, as soon as the shockwave does 0, then things are going to go terribly in the fight. It's just kind of how it goes. As right now, Showmaker being able to take that advantage to the bank. 1-0-2 now on the Azir. And will be probably still even on farm. But you can see Yuka looking a little worse for wear underneath this turret. And with mid-priority, like this is how DK look good, right? They play around Showmaker. He's very good at pushing advantages as Cosmic Binding does go wide. And this has also helped alleviate the issues on the bottom side. Even though Gio still has a slight lead, it is now back to even as Deadly Flourish does come through.
Guter Sidestep.
Going to uncharacteristically miss.
Ja, es ist nasty. Kein getroffener Hook und dann wirst du halt einfach rausgepokt.
Keeps it cool there.
Schon sehr disgusting. Super disgusting, in fact.
Flash or anything like that. His flash is back up now. So they can play a little bit more aggressively. Now Lucid's going to try to take this bottom side prio here and look for a blue steal.
Yeah.
Invade, I should say.
As Korea has swept things out, Hook is going to connect immediately onto him, wants to take
Mein Blood.
to do so, but I still think he's dead. Just take it as well, and you can see a little bit frustrated in the player cams there on for Korea. Just a little bit too far forward.
Wanted to assist to
Okay.
make sure that
Voilà, der hat letztes Mal gut gespielt, ne? Passt.
Really good faster respawn from
Doppel-Matchup sieht echt nicht so one-sided aus, ne?
yeah,
Aber ich weiß auch gar, to be honest, ich weiß gar nicht,
Magical Journey, you can
wann das Matchup insane war.
real escape.
Also im Early Game ja. Und dann ab 2 Items wieder, oder was? Ich weiß nicht. Weil also Gunblade hört sich halt schon, Gunblade Spike hört sich super gefährlich an für den Jace.
taking that burst as there's the curtains. Jiu looking for an angle here, does try to get out, and the Valkyrie will be able
Oh
to
Gott,
do
der ist so
so.
fucked. Nein, 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 er ist so
Hard
fucked.
place here, ladies and gentlemen, as Jiu kind of realizing he's trying to work out what he can do. Flash is available for both of them, and there it is. Smash is
Barrier trifft.
There it is, through the back.
Well played. Ja, well played von Smash.
No worries there at all.
Well played. Und Pixel ist lange für den T1.
Barrier the
Sexy.
bullet and flashed, and maybe I don't know. There's not really much you could do in that scenario. But he waited till the last possible second. The damage
Honestly,
is real on
yeah,
the fourth
sexy.
shot, though, and that barrier isn't enough.
Yeah, that was just a little bit sad. Like, you saw it. Jiu was like, well,
Du bist sexy, ich hab noch nicht mal
go
geduscht.
the other direction.
Aber nach dem Game.
Jiu's gonna get locked up.
Den Luxus nehme ich mir mal schön.
Looking to try and take him down.
Geiler Dive-Top.
Kill Andal just very comfortably tanks up the turret. And even though he wasn't there to defend Jiu there on the bottom side, he's able to kill Shu on the top side.
Well, we're already over a kill per minute here, pre-10,
That's what we like to see.
and it is a very exciting start.
Hallo Rush.
Trying to quantify the lead is a little bit more difficult, as in terms of gold, we are dead even, but where the gold is, where you really point your finger is top side advantages have met much less so far here in the early days of LCK Cup in 2026, but you know, the bigger lead, I think, in this mid lane for Showmaker is what's really going to be what we're
Kann er was aber das Gute wünschen, danke.
moving into this mid game.
Yeah, there's another shockwave that's just going to get unstoppable by Lucid. I mean, throwing it to the guy that can just avoid the CC is probably suboptimal. However,
he
they
doesn't-
wanted to make sure that they
Ja, ja,
could
angeschrieben. Ich hab's schon gesehen auf die
well, and with Lucid having no ultimate,
Karte.
maybe there's going to be an opportunity.
Hallo Johnson.
there. Shock Blast does go wide, as Rich taking a bit of damage and electrocute here is now Korea face checking. Not sure about that one, but it's Willa that's taking the brunt of this.
Lucid hat kein Fleisch. Muss er rausfischen?
As
Oh nein, nein. Keine Chance bei Jibu. In die Wand gestunt. Oh mein Gott, nein.
Binding connects onto Jiu. He's in melee.
Bart-Ulti ist sexy auch gewesen. Hat schon mal gerettet.
To get out of there and will be
Oh weia, die sind individuell so outclassed.
onto Willa as well. Cosmic binding
Will
up.
sie was haben?
Smash is going to miss though, and Smash just needs a little bit more for that bullet. Andal read him like a book as there's the curtains being called yet again. As Smash just really wanting to try and
Smash
take
is like-
down Willa, but thankfully there is a big daddy.
Ja, Viscabas hat einen Block gemacht, ja.
Maybe
Kommt heute.
blocking for him. Let's check and
Yeah,
see.
exactly. He's like, maybe he'll just.
Toplane sieht echt nicht so aus, wie ich mir das also...
Maybe, you never know. Did not happen in this case. Is Rich gonna go for another all in here?
Also...
Slicing Maelstrom onto Shield.
Oder gewinnt er das einfach? Wait, gewinnt er das?
Does
Oh mein Gott, er gewinnt das.
down goes Rich, but man, it was
Bro, ich dachte... Okay.
Coin flip on that one in terms of how close it was.
How can win?
Rich had it calculated with the stun coming through, but he did not.
Das war so mein... Okay.
Wow. Reports G-Sun from backstage. Oh my goodness.
He just did not have that extra 5 damage he needed, and the difference this makes is massive. Not only
Ja, aber jetzt ist halt...
over the denied
Jetzt ist nicht Fakt, aber jetzt ist halt kein Gunblade gegen Lethality und Spike.
I want everyone to watch. Okay, initially going into this one, Career takes a lot of damage, but Gio here comes in and then they
Ja, der Corki ist hier halt leider wirklich ein... Also, Imposter.
here. I think they should have just tried to push towards the top.
Imposter.
Back a little bit more here. Instead, he just completely isolates himself from the rest of his team. The Tempered Fate allows Showmaker to escape freely, and they get these chase kills here as well. So watch this. This is from the perspective of Shiu, as in live, another all-in the bottom lane.
Yeah, in the meantime, even more happening, but let's have a look at it. The stun came down and gets the boot back, and the put in the work.
Ist das
on
abgewichst?
Take him down, and yeah, that'd be my reaction as well.
That's like a huge momentum swing.
Ist das abgewichst?
Because Rich had been
Alle
constantly
hit it.
to apply that pressure. And
Er hat Gunblade fertig, okay.
a significant lead up there.
Well, den nächsten All-In gewinnt er. Level 11 auf Cannon, ich glaube, der ist One-Shot.
Some more of these grubs.
Und Willas Tor.
Empress Divide does get the
Oh,
flash out.
Lucid hat einen Ulti ab.
As Lucid not interested in finishing these grubs.
Wow, er rennt ihn genau... Wow.
Come over and kill the Xin Zhao. He's only level 8 to the level 9 of Lucid here, and I think that he can just walk in and take his stuff. He's a bit...
So, ich danke mir den 22. Gummo.
And that is just going to be the red buff taken down. Smite wasn't even there.
Yeah, neither.
Gnadenlos nachgelaufen, ne? Schon gut.
And it's like everything just belongs to him. He is the schoolyard bully.
This timing for Showmaker's back's a little risky as well.
Tempered Fate going to eat the entire lightning rush as the flash does have to come out there from Rich. Rear is just everywhere in this game.
They may be able to make something happen here around Grubs. DRX, Rich having the ult available. Not going to chase any further in terms of the
Ja, also da instant zu swappen mit W war schon sehr smart von Shibu.
And it was a tense moment there with the Tempered Fate being used a little bit longer.
Ja, Grubs werden echt oft ignoriert.
High value,
Also
lightning rush.
jetzt so halt, weil nichts anderes mehr ansteht auf der Map, aber ansonsten werden die echt oft liegen gelassen, ja.
It's just that the eventual objective doesn't go their way. And I thought they would maybe try to look for a broader team fight there with the group up they had.
It looks like they just don't care about Grubs at all. They didn't seem very...
Halberne.
So,
Jace Top eine Ewigkeit her, ja, die haben honestly ziemlich geil im Draft geflext. Am besser super früh gepickt, dann Double Bands für am besser Toplane quasi gemacht, also Renekton und Gwen. Und dann haben die Gegner Ken reingepickt und dann Last Pick Jace. War schon ziemlich gut gemacht.
It's an interesting composition because there is a lot of physical damage and yet double lethality items coming out first here.
Grubs in Solo gewesen. Ja, die Frage, also nice to do so, aber ich habe halt echt oft das Gefühl, dass es nichts bringt. Ich weiß gar nicht, wann ich die letzte Mal so eine Sequence hatte, wo ich wirklich richtig viel in Töt gehittet habe in Solo Cube. Außer halt so Kristalle und vielleicht noch eine Platte. Warum picken die immer Corki? Ich mag Corki sehr. Weil er fast immer eigentlich slottet, also verliert keine Lane, verliert nicht wirklich Lanes. Scaled decent. Spiked hard auf 2 Items. Ja.
As well as the ability to clear the jungle faster with his blue buff that he just picked up.
And gives a blue over to Showmaker as well, so...
Yeah, it's a lot of small just really starting to stack up here against DRX.
Wenn es Top Assist, sind die Grubs so gut? Ja, gut. Ich glaube als Laner, als Jungler nehme ich das nicht so wahr, ne? Das ist die Sache. Das kann sehr gut sein, aber ich nehme es als Ding nicht so gut wahr als Jungler. Guck mal, Arkanos. Kaiser nicht besser als Corki. Ich glaube, Corki ist auf jeden Fall universeller Pickbar. Kaiser ein bisschen schwieriger. Weil mit Corki kannst du auch alles als auf Support dazu picken. Bei Kaiser habe ich so das Gefühl, du brauchst Mini-Support. Oder Nico.
For DRX, and they have their combo at the ready, but they do not have their AD carry, and Shiu does have teleport, so if D+ can stall this out, they can, I think, definitely secure this.
Also DRX ist echt nicht mal schwach, ne? So scared wäre ich jetzt nicht vor einem Fight. Als DRX gerade. Spike-technisch.
On an objective themselves, they can get the setup and the flanks, then it can work. And otherwise, they want to avoid that sort of front-to-back team fight. The turn is not necessarily as good. And I kind of like it, the identification of what this composition can do. Has Tempered Fate to turn. Just has to get out of there with the lightning rush.
Ja.
Going to come of it, but the Rift Herald does
Ja.
to D+. That's their time.
Do get the first turret on the bottom side of the map though. For Gio, and he picks up a ton of money.
Wie das Corking Gold hat, ja, Platten sind balanced. Platten und First Turret und so, das ist schon sehr OP. Aber ich glaube, in Grand Scheme of Things mattert es nicht, weil der Azir halt gefüttert wird. Azir und Jace, und ich weiß noch nicht, ob die so wirklich eine Antwort gegen den Jace haben. Oh. 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 Halt over.
And maybe even potentially more here.
Oh.
Remember, Gio took down the turret,
Oh.
and so she was likely just dead as well. The
Oh.
also employed, but it's not going to save him, and Gio gets another kill. He may have died 4 times, but he's starting to make some money.
Oh, war ja.
This game has been so much, it's such a
Shit
quintessential
show.
DRX game. Almost all of the success they have had since the group battle has been they find punish plays. This team has been the most punishing team in postseason here for LCK Cup. If you make a mistake, you go over the line, they will...
Oh, war ja.
That was a super bizarre decision there to try to look for the return, and then down here, she was like, okay, I guess they got the dragon.
Ich glaube, Game ist immer noch okay, State, aber das sind halt so random Mistakes, wo dann der Gold, den du dir so hart erarbeitet hast, war wieder decimated wird. Nicht gut. Riley second auf Azir. Das ist die Piot. Oh, NT. NT.
And so he does get that teleport out of there. A bigger cooldown to be employed, but does keep himself alive, and that is certainly good news. Showmaker down here defending this turret, and he has been quite quiet, and I think that might have been leading to some of the issues that DK have had, as they haven't been able to translate this large lead that Showmaker has into getting very much more. But it's really clever from DRX, right? Avoid the money and take down the rest of them to try and build up your own coffers, and it's Gio that has that, heading closer and closer towards those 2 items, and is now actually looking for a back. We'll see whether it's going to be enough for him to pick up his Manamune, as he's very, very close to max stacks for the Muir Mana as well. As another anchor is going to connect onto Korea, he's taking a lot of damage, has to fly.
Das sind echt gute Hooks von Endel bisher, ne?
A very short one, as the curtains have now been called. Gio is now having Smash in point. Exactly
Smash, scheißegal, ob der Kork ihn angreift, aber der Fight ist trotzdem maybe fucked. Also, da ist kein Flash auf Sivu. Oh, weia. Oh, weia, was machen die? Brandos. Wie machen wir's?
Here for D+, thought he's the showmaking, playmaking maker, but he's just not showing up to these scraps. He's not showing up to these skirmishes at all to stand in the side lane, and they need him.
Wie machen wir's, Freunde? Also, wir waren noch nicht im Fight dabei.
The one who can split these fights up with Emperor's Divide, and he is just AFK in this one. Yeah. I'm not to blame him, because the win con for them is to split, is to get the Azir fed, use that side lane win con, but he doesn't have grubs, so it's taking a little bit longer. In this fight, they were so all in on the Nautilus with the channel there from Smash. He wasn't able to really offer any damage. Gio's just like, all right.
Voller Woche auf Lucy, to be fair.
And shove on you. You have to back off, and then we collapse back in. Ando goes for the re-engage hook when he's super low. Ando's confidence is unreal. He's 3-1-5. He's picked up so many of these kills. He starts this off onto career, and then Showmaker doesn't want to, can't TP in now, right? But as the Orianna has the faster...
Ja, ich sehe es schon, ne? Der Azir weggezont. Geht auch gar nicht dafür für den Move, ne? Ja, ihr macht euer Ding. Wichtige Entscheidung von Showmaker.
Shows up to the fight. Showmaker does not. Smash is at half health because of that exchange with Gio, and Willer could just hard push into the front line here. And this is just a disaster for D+.
Yep, and Gio was there, and Rich wasn't. And so... The fact that D+ lost yet another kill, and it wasn't exactly a man advantage or anything like that for DRX, it was just the fact that the money was not there for DK. So, they're going to have to fix it, and DK, after, you know, figuring things out in the early game, they won that early skirmish, got a little complacent. And if you're a DK fan, you'll understand that's happened before. She was just really dead. Rich just finds him, presses R, and down goes the Jace.
This Jace is a very fragile pick, and it is not safe in side lanes. In the part of why we're seeing the Jace fall off. Like, we used to be picked as a counter pick in controlling top lane in so many matchups, but it has just fallen off in a big way. Even with the buffs this patch, I was like, I think we'll see it as a niche pick, but into the Kennen here, once you fall behind...
Aber selbst, okay, also selbst als Niche-Pick, das Matchup war doch super unlosable gegen Kennen, oder nicht? Oder irre ich mich? Ich habe das als sehr schwer zu verlieren in Erinnerung.
I mean, if you think back to, you know, D+ of old, Noguri certainly did like a good old 1-4 Jace, but it does not necessarily work out. So we'll see whether D+ can get some relevance out of Shiu here. Rift Herald did get a little bit of a charge, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Ken-Ulti-Kunde ist auch so niedrig auf dem Patch, ne? Wenn man mal checkt, wie viel die einfach eigentlich nerven, das ist schon krank.
And they don't get the turret in mid lane, and they don't have a play here.
Well, Hook gonna connect onto Showmaker as he gets
Bard is decent, first target.
Flash out of the way from Andal to avoid the deadly flourish. And that is just going to be disengaged.
Ja, genau, also that's my whole point, ja, das ist eventuell mit diesem gebufften, mit dem gebufften Cannon plus mit Gunblade halt nicht mehr so ein geiles Matchup ist einfach. Die Orianna ist so strong. Was kauft Jiwoo da? Cleaver? Was macht Ende? Oh my. Kann das worth it sein? Aber Rich hat halt Flash plus Ulti.
So maybe that's going to be enough to give DK the confidence. I think without the Jace though, can get problematic, but slicing Maelstrom's back up. Rich has fun. He could win the game for them right here. Shockwave connects onto Lucid. He does still have the public execution. As in goes Showmaker and he looks
ja, aber es ist so fucked, oder nicht? Ja, es ist so fucked.
The deadly flourish, but it does not come through. So a 1 for 3, and DRX can do no wrong.
I think D+ should have decided to opt out. So we're going to go all the way back to this play here with Rich. Goes straight onto the Jace, 100-0.
Krank.
See you later. And then this fight, it's Showmaker looking for the angle, and he and Lucid coordinated so brilliantly, but the problem is there just isn't any long-term damage if Showmaker sacrifices himself for the engage, because you have a...
Mein Smash kann auch nicht wirklich was machen, ne? Ja.
It is so hard to front to back these team fights if you're not in a really favorable position. Lucid's so low that he has to sack himself as well when the engage comes through. Look at this from Showmaker. Great angle. Jin's already ulting. Lucid's got the angle as well. They're all coordinated, right? All three of them. But the sacrifice isn't worth it when, you know, we're still like, all right, well, we are off Dragon Control, and thank you very much for the favorable trade plus Dragon. And now they're on Soul Point in this game. It's starting to look a little rough here for D+. The win cons are really starting to thin out. And
You musst into Storm Raider aufbrennen.
side lanes, I think he's going to have to continue to do so, but they will have to show up for this next Dragon 100%.
And this is
Ulti nicht ab bei Showmaker.
scary because this could mean a lot for DK as Luke
Instant TP, ne? Oh, Cannon ist gecancelt. War der One-Shot jetzt nicht Shivu?
at the same time he tries to shift the
Ja.
sides of Shiu. Just one more auto and he's going to be going
Ja, GG.
dead on the other side of the map, and DK
Aber guck mal.
are falling apart at the seams.
Shio could maybe have an angle here. Nah, I don't think so. Rich is
Gonna
not
go
even going to
the win.
flash for the kill. He's like, taking this win, getting your flash is more valuable. They're going to take Baron on the top side. Everyone rotated bottom side, trying to bail out the Jace, but there's nothing bottom side. This is just a free Baron.
Der ist an Minions gestorben. Ich wusste, ich habe auf die HP-Bar gesehen.
And he does
Und ich habe gesehen, bei 70 HP, der ist an Minions gestorben. Ja,
What happened?
ja.
I guess that's the only explanation.
Ich habe auf die HP-Bar da links oben geschaut und ich habe gesehen, wie sie weiter runtergegangen ist. Junge, nee.
Okay.
Es ist Freiheit.
Alright, so you mentioned
Und zwar komplett, die haben einfach nicht mehr, also.
is just Lucid getting caught, right? They
Yeah.
really started the engage off without setup. They did not have the setup this time. And Showmaker was not in position to ult. So you were leading into it before this happened though. The collapse of D+ sometimes in these series, the mental collapse that we often see, as she starts this off with a teleport interrupt.
the teleport, right?
And the Rich is like, okay, but I'm happy for that. All right, let's see what happens here.
This is the
ultimately.
important part. It's what happens afterwards.
Yeah, it's too many minions.
Oh, wait. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, okay. Dies to...
Ey, die machen schon sehr viel Damage.
There you go.
Oh, mal was
It's
das.
just, you know, he has
Ja, die mal, also.
really squishy
Yeah.
laners in
Well,
the flail. You know,
hey.
It's, Jace has been out of the...
Er hat ihn fast gesniped.
DRX,
Ist ja auch irgendwas.
I really truly feel so far here in playoffs / play-ins has just been the bar you have to be better than. And if you just kind of mess up or you're a little sloppy, they will obliterate you, it turns out. And in this game, it's just the same case here for D+.
And I think they just operate super well with, you know, the underdog.
Und Chrissy.
Is this DRX? They just punch harder than you expect. And DK are the team that are just, yeah, they often get caught by teams like that. As Tempered Fate goes wide, Deadly Flourish gets flashed, and Rich going to keep himself alive. Shiu in a lot of
Ja.
as he's gonna have to get out of there.
Die haben auch nicht mal Damage für Ende. Es ist so fucking fucked. Langweilig Spiel nicht, ne, auf gar keinen Fall. Es passiert sehr viel, aber
With this Baron buff.
nicht sehr viel Gutes für DK.
Gold on the Rebel Baron power play already, putting them at a 6.2k gold lead. DRX, like, I mean, they are just off to the races in this game. It's
P behind von Jace, aber how? Okay, ja, nee. Keine Chance.
Let's see if we can get anything with
also,
the
what is
shot
a flanking Jace
Nee.
comes on through, and Showmaker immediately goes down. She was
Gute Sonjas von Yukai.
and
Nee.
DRX just moving forward like a freight train. Smash likely to go down next as Willow looks for the angle. Wim becomes lightning. He's going to go wide, so that spells the end of that. But it is only Smash left alive. The base is going to be broken, and DRX are on to doing it again.
Yeah, this is a great start for them here. Ucal, a little bit less great on this one.
I do, like the amount of dying to minions this game is much higher than it should have been.
Yeah,
I think.
I at least twice.
Warte, wer ist der Minion gestorben?
A few things about like
Nee.
turrets.
Oder am Turrets?
Like,
Yeah, nah.
War das Turret oder nicht?
stuff like that, but it wasn't the minions, so that's still.
Auch nicht ein guter Catch, aber die sind da holt auch so viel Space raus.
Solo engage like this, and Showmaker, because it's
Ist der Original Minion? Das war Turrets.
actually opt to help out, and Ucal's marked him, right?
Gute Sonjas.
Has the Zonias as well, perfectly timed here. She was flank. Does a little bit of burst, but
Wir haben ja alle auf 3-0 getippt, weil wir dieses Matchup schon hatten, ne? Runde 1 von Play-Ins. Und das waren wirklich die härtesten Stomps.
okay, he's just got the aggro.
Also, for real, das waren die härtesten Stomps des Jahres. Das war so krank.
Doesn't have his abilities, or either doesn't have enough.
Oh.
No, what?
Ne, es ist eine Turret. Ja. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Right. So he just dies to the turret because he was
The minions weren't close enough.
in range of the turret.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's very silly, it's very funny, but DRX, I think, are
I have the
gonna laugh about
feedback.
it.
I have the feedback for him to avoid that happening though, and that is, don't back under the enemy turret.
He thought the minions were gonna cover him. He thought he was okay.
And also Andil thought that he'd be able to tank it for him, but he wasn't able to do that either.
You
so.
know, Career has an item advantage over Andil right now.
Hey, there you go.
He's got his fancy belt.
He's got a fancy belt, he's got his musical instrument, he's got his cool shield and another cool shield, and some shoes.
Bruiser Corky.
Not believe D+ after the turnaround in this game just got outplayed repeatedly by DRX.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I do believe it though, Wolf. We stated this earlier.
But I look at this scenario thinking the reason why I predicted D+ and why I predicted them 3-1, and by the way, we're still early in this series, but from a microcosm of this one game, was I thought in a scenario like what DRX was in, D+ always wins out. Like, D+ is the better team, they'll come back. It's kind of the opposite in this one, and DRX are suddenly just this insane team-fighting team. Yeah, they're really
Zwei Lanes ist gut. Rich auf Mitte zu haben. Yep.
After
Das ist gut.
them, D+ did not, and they found out what that means here in this first game is the Nexus is still alive, but I think this lead is just too big now.
And also this composition from DRX is, it just sort of plays itself from this point.
Yeah.
And we stated it already, the way that these teams are going to be fighting later on in the game is going to be very, very different. And so if you're the one in control, then you're the one that's going to be able to call those shots. And right now it's DRX, so Andil just presses an R button on whoever he likes, and that player will die. That's just kind of how it will go. Because they're the ones with the lead. Rich is also just gigantic in
Ich weiß auch nicht, ob Smash jemals in eine Position kommt, in der er stark genug ist, um zu carry. Ich meine, das ist jetzt More, Cleaver und ne, Wardens Mail. What the fuck? Ein kleiner Randuin's Corky.
Yeah. And, I mean, they did not get a second inhibitor here. So that is, if you're a D+ fan, can breathe a sigh of relief. 2 minutes for the final inhibitor there on the bottom side. It will still be down on the opposite side of the map for Baron, so that's not great, but there is a chance.
Boah, jetzt nochmal 2 Items auf Showmaker wahrscheinlich. Ich meine, da kommen wir realistisch nicht hin. National Minute ist ein guter Force von DRX einfach. Ich glaube nicht, dass die DK irgendwie verhalten kann, allein XP-technisch. Fast 2 Level auf Mitte, ein Level auf Top. So 2, was sagen wir mal, 2 Level Jungle.
Misplaced by D+, like they've made the decision, okay, we can lock down this one target, let's all go a few too many times, and Showmaker wasn't there for some of those early fights where they needed him. Now he just
Ich glaube, du machst nicht viel gegen den Start.
somehow stop this Baron, save them, but they have to walk through like 17 wards to get this. They can't. You know, it's too late. Like there just isn't an angle here. We talk about late game Azir. We talk about Jay's Shock Blast warping objectives, but if they can't even get halfway to the Baron, what does it mean? What does it matter?
Well, I mean, they have to.
Rich Position ist richtig gut. Ja.
Rich finding the angle under Showmaker. The shockwave connects onto Career, but Showmaker does. Flashes
Wait. Pause. Okay. Guter Play. Ich dachte noch, wir haben irgendwie einen Engel, aber guter Play.
Just casually there for Gio, and they'll just saunter back towards the Baron to take it down with ease.
This is looking very different than the last time these two teams matched up against each other. Showmaker down flat.
Speed Mitte, wollen die direkt die Wave spielen? Könnten, ne?
Nee,
können sie nicht, die waren so richtig Damage.
Completely trashed here for D+. As Career's trying to set up for a play here and just gets shockwaved, right? Showmaker has to flash, he gets away, but doesn't have an ult angle. Rich just like, nah, I got you.
Magical journey to death.
Yeah. Less magical than it said.
Super unangenehmes Jace Game auch echt.
Yeah, indeed. Sometimes you do really get caught out by some of those tours, man. And Rich now has a Void Staff, so this cannon, he was scary before, he's more scary now. And
Level 19 noch.
I don't know whether we're even going to get
Irgendwie sehen die Items von Ken zu wenig, also sieht nach zu wenig Items aus, dafür, dass er Level 19 ist.
for DRX to wreak
Aber
on the DK base.
Es ist wirklich ran ins Corky, ich kann nicht mehr.
4-1's incredibly well with a lead like this. You know, it's UCal is just going to clear waves insanely fast on the bottom side, and with Rich having his ultimate back up, he's just super safe. Gio, on the other hand,
he's going to get booped back by the hammer, but he does offer a lot of damage himself with... He's got a Randuin's.
Yeah, he just doesn't want to die.
He really likes Bruiser Corky, doesn't he? But he's taken it, I feel, an extra step with the Randuin's.
Halt die Pros so lange in der Dorans, du, ich meine, das Item ist super, super goldeffizient. Warum hast du es nicht für Pinkwards verkauft? Gute Frage, aber super goldeffizient.
The Randuin's button and Valkyries, and then they can't get up to him. It's kind of cute.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, all right, well. He's also got a Mountain Soul, so it's only going to get amplified as well. So I kind of like that as well.
Plus Omnivamp ist OP, to be honest. Also Omnivamp scaled halt insane ins Game rein. Rich hat kein Flash. Er ist tot, oder? Pause. Pause. Lucy hat auch eine gute Posi. Wartet. Wartet. Andal Hook gemisst. Oh. Yuka hat den. Okay. Nee, die verlieren, oder? Ja, okay. Right? Right? Oh, er ist der Full-Tank-Hockey. Der Full-Tank-Hockey. Shit, Show Teamfight. GG.